welcome to another unboxing video from theplayersaid.com. It was the last day of Gen Con today, and I'm fresh home, so I thought I'd take a look and crack open. This is Reds by GMT. And this is a game which I picked up at Gen Con. I got it at a very, very good price. This is from 2012, and this is the second printing. So this is a game by Ted Racer, and he's the guy for World War I war games, it seems. He's done so many of them. Probably the biggest one is Paths of Glory, which is, the gold standard for that level, covering the First World War. This is actually the Russian Civil War. So this is tail end of World War I. It's 1918 to 1921. And this covers, you've got the Reds take power, and they're fighting against, if I can crack this open, the Whites, which are the old Tsarists, and it's them vying for power to try and gain and regain control of Russia. And there's various factions helping either side. So this is actually a really small, thin box. This is probably 1.5 inches at best. So it's a very, very lightweight game. And I primarily got this because, let's take a look back on here. It's low complexity and very, very high solitaire suitability. So this is one that I can play around with on my own. Nice counters fell out there. So we got a bag of baggies and a little nice red and a white die there. We're using some D6s. So let's take a look at these. These are great counters. These are very thick. These are kind of as thick as the counters from Empire of the Sun, which are those premium thickness counters. So you got these hammer and sickle counters. Presumably these are control based. So you've got these here, and you got the royal family on the backside, I believe. You got some done counters, and it is some bookkeeping stuff here. Supply we're looking at, some markers here for white corruption, cavalry raids, and some initiative here, white versus red, bits and pieces like that. So that's a half counter sheet there that we've got, and these are really nice counters here. They're not fully glossy; they're almost like a semi-matte. A semi-gloss. That's kind of cool looking. So we got player aid chart here. This is the white player aid chart. Random tables, CRT. Got a rally table here, and on the back you've got some political restriction summary. So this is a summary of all the various complications that can happen over the course of the game, and you've got a summary of the special rules with regards to each of the different regions that are imposed on the white player. So that's actually really, really neat. I love it when a game has, if they've got a lot of complex chrome and bits and pieces, that they give you rules. You can read the rules, they're thick, but then you get the reference that helps you do all of that. So this is the red player card. It's pink. And these are, again, this semi-gloss, good card. Got your little guide over there. I think these might be exactly the same, and they're just colored differently. Oh no, these are very, very different. Oh, they're very, very different. Okay, that's good. So the random events table is completely different. Those are very unique. So this has got intrigue, you've got white corruption coming over, kind of turning the tide of kind of influence and politics there. And you get red leaders here. So you've got three chances of doing the same thing. Whereas you look at the white table, each one of these is unique. And you'll get some different pieces. You get some tanks coming in, and I guess the armored train. So there's lots of different stuff going on in that one. So, Reds. This is the rulebook. We have, let's see, 23 pages it looks like. And this is, it's black and white. And this is decent stock paper. Fairly dense looking game, standard structure of the rules. Got some good diagrams though. Oh, that's good. I got a lot of diagrams. So you're going to get a lot of explanation of how everything works. So that's going to be great. Some a lot of different rules and bits and pieces. Winter rules. So really, 19 pages of rules-ish. Which, if you don't really count all these bits, effectively 18. Then these last few rules are strategy notes. So you got a bunch of different, if you're red, do this. If you're white, do that. Your things to look for, at least. And then you've got Russian Civil War historical overview. You know, it's learning the actual Civil War, because I don't know if this is a topic that a lot of people have the biggest in-depth knowledge of. I know I certainly don't, so that'll be interesting to read the background on it. So this is the other counter sheet. This is a full counter sheet. These are great looking counters. These are very clear, well-spaced, bold counters. And these are really cool kind of turquoise aquamarine color. I actually really like those. Those are neat. Looks like you got a few different colors here. And those will represent, unsure at the moment, various different sections of armies. Here's something that's awesome. Got these armored trains that you'll be using throughout the game. A few of the reds there. And you got some biplanes, bits and pieces. A lot of various different counters here. And you got some support from outside allies here. You got Polish units as well. There's a lot of different things at work. So yeah, we got more of those. Let me see. So you got some boats. You got some tanks for the white side of you, I believe. And you got planes, and then they got the trains there as well. There's a bunch of different stuff on here, and then you've got reduced sides of the units on the other side, and all those are blank. Oh, that's terrifying. A little rest in peace counter here. What's that for? Oh, that's specifically for Tsar Nicholas II. He's gonna die at some point. That's bleak as far as that goes. And the last thing in this box, again, thin box, not a lot of contents in it, so that's nice. I'll be able to get one tray in there, and that'll be everything. Let's take a look at the map here. Box. Reds. This is a fairly standard looking, from a quality standpoint, GMT paper map. And by standard quality, I mean the quality you'd expect from them, which is excellent. That's good heavy paper stock. And this is I believe this is a Simonish design. I don't know if that's actually true. I'll double check with that. Let's see. Yeah, it is a Simonish. Okay. His maps are usually, you can pick them right out. They're fairly iconic. So you got the big old red tile here. I'm trying to see if I can't get everything in here. So this is a big game. This can be a very, very long game. 24 turns. That's a lot of turns for a lot of people trying to get that all in. That's why it makes a good solo game, because who has time to do 24 turns on their own? But you know, I can do a few turns tonight, do a few turns tomorrow night, not a big deal. Got a combat odds table here in the bottom right hand corner, and then you've got terrain effects and some different bits and pieces about strategic movement, and a little source as a key for these symbols, the little half-colored circles. Those are supply sources and what those mean, and what they can and can't supply. And then you've got most here of Eastern and Central Russia, or Western and Central Russia. We get everything here. You obviously got some forests up here. We'll have some Ural Mountains. You've got Kiev down here. Poland's all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. And you've got the Baltic Republic. So it looks like you've got supply lines and transport routes with the trains. You've got major cities. You've got reds and greys. And you got Moscow up here. That's going to obviously be a lot of fighting over there. Rostov. There's a lot of different bits and pieces going on here. But the map's fairly, not nearly too much going on. You've got the sections. You've got the South Front, the Central Asia Front, and the East Asia Front. So these are divided up by the red dotted lines. Various sections that different sub-rules apply to, or different events will go off in. So that's most of what that's about. That's everything that's in reds. And this is a game that I'm quite excited for, just because of Russian Civil War. Never played a game about that. I think it will be fascinating. It's World War One technology, so you'll be fighting war in a different way than, I'm used to playing a lot of World War II games, but with the technological limitations, it's going to feel different. So I'm excited to get this one to the table, and we'll probably do an ongoing series about this play. And thank you very much for watching, and this is Reds by GMT.